Hello, How To Bob here, and I'm going to change out this Thetford Style 2 high. It's leaking right around the valve here, and the spring does not return, so it's time to replace it. Now I'm going to replace the Thetford Style 2 with a Dometic 310, something Camping World told me couldn't be done. And I'm going to start out by removing the bolt caps, and then I'm going to use a 1/2 inch socket to remove the nut on top. You may want to use a deep well socket if the bolts are really long on your toilet. So I remove the one side, go around to the other side, and repeat the process. So I stopped at the local Camping World and was looking for a replacement for the Thetford Style 2 and was told that the Dometic 310 would not fit by 2 separate employees at Camping World, but we'll see how that works. So my next step is to take off the supply line that's located in the back right here. Now you want to make sure that the water is off to the rig before you disconnect the supply line, and I threw a towel down because there will be some water left in the lines and that'll catch that water. I'm using a channel lock to get the supply line loose. Once I get that loosened up with the channel locks, I can take it off the rest of the way by hand, and it helps to jiggle the pipe around a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to get it loose from the toilet. Okay, now that I have my supply line disconnected, I can remove the toilet from the flange and set that off to the side. Remove the old gasket, I won't be needing that. And I'm going to put a little something over top of the hole just to keep the smell down. So I have my new Dometic 310, and you can see everything looks pretty much the same. The inlet is here. It's a little bit off, so I think I've got enough flexibility in my pipe. If not, I would put an inline shut off there to gain a little bit of extra length. Now it comes with a parts kit. It's got a couple bolts. I'm going to use the new bolts. They're a little different size. A couple washers, bolt caps, and some covers for the toilet bolt seats. So I'll take the old toilet bolts out. They just slide out the side, and take the new ones. They're a little bit smaller. That'll fit that new Dometic 310, and slide those in the slot. Make sure they're in there good and tight. And the other one. So those are in there. I want to make sure I have my gasket. This is a new one that came with the toilet. Always recommend putting a new one in when replacing a toilet. I'll remove my smell guard and set the toilet down in. Get one bolt lined up, and I'll have to reach under and get the other bolt lined up. Now you can see it rocks back and forth. That is the gasket underneath, which will be compressed when I put my nut on there and tighten it down. So I'll put the flat washer on first, put the nut on, and then I'll hand tighten it down and go to the other side and do the same process on this side. Put the washer down and then put the nut on the other side. And it doesn't hurt to push down on the toilet. That'll compress the gasket and make it easier for you to tighten the nut by hand. And once I get it tightened by hand, I'm going to be using a 7/16 socket, and I have a deep one on this one. On the other side, the handle gets in the way, so I'm going to have to use an open end wrench, boxed end wrench, ratcheting wrench, whatever you have will work. And I'll just go back and forth, rotate back and forth, get it a little tight on the first side, go to the second side, and then come back to the first side again until that's pretty tight. Then go back to the second side, and that gives it a nice even smashing of the gasket. Now it's pretty tight here. Everything looks good, pretty good and secure. So I want to put my bolt caps on, and I'll push that down tight, just give it a nice, good, clean look. One on each side. And then I want to hook up my supply line. So I'll put my towel back down in there, and I'll pull it out from the wall. And again, if this wasn't long enough. I would have added an inline shutoff valve. That would have gave me an extra couple inches, which is all I really needed for this. And I may still do that just as a convenience feature. I'll get it hand tight, make sure it's not cross threaded, and then I'll use my channel locks to snug it up the rest of the way. So since my supply line and the toilet has a flared fitting, no Teflon tape will be needed. So I get that tightened up, dry it all off, put my toilet seat bolt covers on, and then I can check for leaks. And you'll see how nice this Dometic 310 flush is. It's got a little swirl around the bowl, and we have installed a new toilet where the Thetford Style 2 was. So this is how you replace your RV toilet. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. I'm How To Bob. Thanks for watching.